Okay, so I'm gonna record a quick tutorial how to swap in new wraps that you need for Speedy Hot Pursuit. First thing you're gonna need is you're gonna need your wrap texture. I'm using a CSR2 model, so I'm gonna be taking wraps from that game because these are the supported wraps for the UV in the game. Second thing you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to make sure you have the vehicle imported in Blender. This is just to view the UVs and stuff like that, so you know what exactly you're changing. You're also going to want to set this to UV wrap map so that way you can see just exactly how the game uses the wrap UV wise and how the car is UV mapped. As you can see, I have it open in my BRZ. Obviously, this is the HP texture, so it doesn't fit, but if I wanted to, I can edit it and re-export it. It's provided you have the exporter. But we're not doing NFS HPR wraps, we're doing CSR2 wraps, so we don't even have to re-UV it. So we're gonna take this wrap because we want this in the game, and we're gonna go in and paint.net, open it, and we're gonna immediately save as DDS DXT1. I'll put it in my wrap folder. I already did this one, so I'll just do this one for the video. Save DXT1, generate map maps. Make sure it's 2048 by 2048 because that's the resolution the game uses. Save. Again, we don't need to UV map this because the car is already mapped for these wraps. If you ever played CSR2, you know that. So you got the wrap. We got it right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to open HXID and we're going to throw the texture dat into HXID. Now this texture dat is for the wrap itself. As you can see with Noesis, if you view in Noesis, you can see that this is the correct texture that we need to replace. So we're going to open that HXID and we're also going to take our wrap that we want to swap in and we're going to throw in HXID as well. We're going to delete the first 7 lines. So from 0 to 70, all the time, every time, whenever you're swapping a texture in nfshp HPR, you're going to want to delete the first 7 lines, always. We're going to select all, copy, go over here, select all, paste, and close and save. After that, we're going to go to the C6 file and export it. I already have it exported, but if you want to learn how to export it, you don't even need to change this, just change that to DDS and hit export, and that's how you get your texture. So now you're gonna open that texture that you exported. We're gonna see this. This is the light mapping for the what's it called? The texture. So you need this in order for the texture to show up properly, otherwise it's gonna show up kinda like, where is it? It's gonna show up kinda like this. If you don't fix it correctly, it's not gonna show up properly. So what you're gonna need to do is you're gonna take the paint color picker tool, pick the color, get the paint bucket, paint over these, because obviously we're not gonna need it because we're not using an HPR wrap texture. Save as. You don't even need to do save as. Just hit save. Save DXT1, generate map maps, the usual, and close that. Now we're gonna go and throw that into HXID. Throw in the texture you just edited as well. Delete the first 70 lines or 7 lines. Copy, select all, paste, close, save. Now, final part, pack it up. Look for ID's bin and hit open. Hit OK, and then it will repack it for you. Next thing you want to do is just copy the name. I usually just delete it, but since I want to make sure I have a backup, I make an OG file first. Throw that in there and then put the name. Okay, after that, just copy that and throw it into your pre-made wraps here. It's in the folder right here. NFS HPR Super Master pre-made wraps. Simple, easy to find. It's literally labeled out for you. Just replace the old pre-existing wrap. Go back to your game. You don't even need to restart your game. All you have to do is literally just reselect the wrap. So it's literally that simple. You don't even have to click off the car. You just have to reselect the wrap and the game will update it automatically. So as you can see, now my new wrap's in the game. See? That's simple. Now you can do this with any car and pre-made wraps. Again, make sure you're editing the masking properly. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's the masking for the wrap itself. So that way it shows up properly. Make sure you're editing that properly. Make sure you UVs of the car. So let's say you're editing an HP car. Make sure you import it into Blender first and view the texture. And view the UV maps in the texture so that way you know how the wrap's going to look in game. Or otherwise you can do trial and error because that works too. But I believe this is a faster method, viewing in Blender and seeing how it's gonna look. And this is I'm not gonna really go through into that because then this video is gonna be like 10,000 years long. But yeah, it's really that simple.